We used to have a wonderful, tremendous industry here, and it died in the 60s. And by us making nearly every component in a watch movement, that's doing our part to revive this industry. And that's always been my goal. I'm very passionate about that.
Joshua Shapiro, former history teacher, current watchmaker. But not just any kind of watches. Watches that are handmade and sell for tens of thousands of dollars. While he's been making timepieces for over a decade, the partly self-taught watchmaker has finally achieved what he'd been trying to do since he started, creating a watch almost entirely made in the United States. His company, J.N. Shapiro Watches, has done it in Inglewood, and he's named the timepiece Resurgence.
The US has one of the most difficult made-in labels in the world. What it means to put made in the USA means that all or virtually all of everything in any product has to be made in the United States of America. Making watches in Los Angeles is challenging because everything's in Switzerland. All the equipment, all the suppliers, all the knowledge is there. So we have to constantly be dealing with the Swiss. Sometimes they just don't want to deal with anyone not in Switzerland, and that can be a big challenge. Guilloche and using these old machines is really just a combination of both my passions. You know, I love working with metal and I love old things. I first learned about it in a book called Watchmaking by George Daniels, who basically wrote the Bible on how to make a watch from scratch. And his watches that he made had beautiful engine-turned or guilloche dials on them. Guilloche is the French word, engine turning is the English word. And what this is it's using a tool to remove metal on a machine that's making geometric patterns. And the geometric patterns can be almost anything. With these machines, there has to be an order. There's a mathematical order in order to make these geometric patterns. So if a person's not paying attention, you can go out of order, then the dial is scrap. You can slip, and then the dial is scrap. The dial can come off of what's holding it onto the machine, and then it's scrap. And then there's everything that needs to happen to the dial afterwards to make it go into a watch. Putting the holes in, milling it to the correct size, all sorts of things. That can all make a dial scrap. And then there's the color treatments that we do to them. Some of our projects, we have a 25% success rate on the dials from A to Z. So that's a lot of time that can go down the drain on every dial, but it's just part of the game. I'm always a little nervous about whenever I show any of my watches, because I immediately see all the things wrong with it first. But that's not what other people see. Watches are also art, so some people will look at it and go, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and other people are going to look at it and say, yeah, it's not for me.
Shapiro expects to deliver the first examples of Resurgence by the end of the year.
It's so special to me and my team, and I just want to share that passion with other people. US made, number 00, Jane Shapiro, and then I have the initials of all my teammates on here. We've made everything in this watch, and that hasn't been done in the United States in a long, long time.